Hi, Pamela. Nice job with the reverse wraps. And yes, the backside with blind cross position really helps. So sometimes something like a net, if you can set it up so that you can use it to guide your path and it's not in Hector's way, like that's a pretty good idea. So that's something you can certainly try. You can also use like little landmarks on the course that kind of help you navigate to find your position mid-bar on those. And really good self-analysis. So great that you're watching the videos and you're seeing those things, because the more that you practice that, then the easier it gets to like understand and do the technique. So that's really great. I'll start here. So I think, again, these reverse wraps went really well. So I'm probably going to mention some things to just help tighten the turn, make sure you're easily able to get ahead, that kind of thing. So with this first one, just make sure with your position with reverse wrap should be such that you're aligned with the end of the bar. Here you're a little bit in front of the wings. Remember, that's going to push him out too. And if he can't see the wing because you're in front of it, then it will take a bit longer for him to commit to where he is going to. And like that, like whole thing where like making sure they can see the wing, like, yes, they can probably see it through our legs or around, like maybe a little bit, but like making sure they can really see it makes all the difference in making sure they commit to it early. So yeah, and here you can see that you can actually like see a bit of your leg past the wing there. So always remember to go towards the end of the bar on reverse wraps. And even with backside send to front cross or backside send to reverse spin or no turning, just backside send to American turn, you still would have that position so that the dog can see the wing. Nice connection. You can really, it's clear that you can see him, so that's really good that you're watching him. Okay, and then as he is committing to the bar, then you're going to be moving forward, so that's really nice. So you can see here, this is the like small adjustment that I wanted to mention, because if you look at how he's jumping, going in this direction, which is the natural jumping path that dogs will take, and this is why we have reverse wrap, because we really we saw that was happening and really want to make sure that, like, for the tightest turn, that we can get the dog to actually square up quite a bit more, so that we can really get that super tight turning. Okay, because if they jump that way, the dark blue line, then they're going to go a bit wider, and that turn ends up being a little bit flatter as opposed to really being a nice tight wrap. So when you are doing your reverse wraps, if you are in that position where you're next to the end of the bar where the bar meets the wing, and toes and chest laser are pointed to the end of the wing, and when you put your arm over the bar, then those things will help Hector to come around and square up a bit there. Okay, so really plan to be ahead so that you can make it to that spot and put your hand over the bar so that he can come up and square up to that hand. And then when you see that, drop your eyes to the landing and get out of that landing spot. And then I think you'll see like super tight wrappings there. Okay, good. So similar comments with this one as the previous one. Really nice connection here. And then as you are moving to your reverse wrap position, remember, keep watching him. So with that backside send connection, that we want to maintain the steady connection. So you just keep looking at him. And then once he has come around the wing and is squared up to your hand, then you can drop your eyes to the landing. Okay, good. Now this again, nice connection. So just little bits of like kind of, not drop of connection, but just a small fluctuation there. Now you've returned it. So just keep that steady, and a little bit more that you're in this position here with your arm over the bar, so that until you see that he really squares to it, and then you can move out of there. And one thing that'll make it easier to move out of that reverse wrap position is if you take your first step forward with the leg that is closest to the bar. So in this case, that is your left leg. So if you step forward with your left leg, you get out of the landing spot really easily. And that makes the turning tighter and gets you ahead more. Okay, so those things all will help. And I'll make sure he doesn't tick the bar also, because that like squaring up to the bar, when you put your hand over, also serves that purpose, that they can clear the jump easily. Okay, so yes, this is better position, so he can clearly see the wing here. So once you reach that, then toes and chest laser point to the end of the wing. So chest laser is like kind of there, toes are a little bit more forward still, more towards the landing. So make sure both toes and chest laser point both to this spot, and arm reaches over the bar. And then look at the landing. Yeah, that turning isn't better. Good. Super. So if we go back and look at, you do see the difference in where he's taking off from on this one. Okay, so previous ones, he was going more this way. Now we have much more of this like squared up jumping. So that's really what we want to see. Good. Super. Okay, good. So better now with making sure that your toes and chest are towards the end of the wing, pointing there. Position so that you're next to the end of the bar. I think you can be moved so that you're more easily able to reach your arm over. So that means being closer to the bar itself. But looking at him, so that's really, really good. And then see him look at your hand and then move. So you might be moving just slightly too soon, that he's not getting an opportunity to really collect and square up to the jump. Okay, so probably hang there a moment longer to see that, and then drop your eyes to the landing and step forward off the landing spot. And I think, again, if you step forward with your the leg that is closest to the bar, you'll get out of there quite quickly. Arm over. So that like directing with your dog side arm probably not necessary. I think he probably already knows, because your forward motion moving to your position for the reverse wrap, plus what your legs are doing, it's going to tell, he already knows. So you don't have to do any more or anything really at all with this arm. More important that by this point you're already reaching over the bar and rotated so that your chest laser and your toes are pointed to the end of the wing. So you can do that a little bit sooner, because he's already committed to going to the backside. Yeah, that's much better turning. Good. Nice. And so think of your hand also as, it's not meant to, the hand that's over the bar is not there to pull the dog over. It's there to help the dog square up their stride. So instead of jumping that way, to square and jump that way. Let me draw that more clear. So their natural stride would go more like this. And what we want them to do is jump that way, because that's how you get the tighter wrap. So experiment with how much you need to put your hand over the bar, and how soon you can move out of there and still get the tighter wrap. This one still pretty good. It's a little bit jumping that way, and I think we saw an earlier repetition where you could see that it was a really nice and squared up tight wrap here. This connection, this is good. Once he is committed to the bar, you can turn your eyes to the landing. Okay, so there you're still looking at him. So look at the landing. That also will help tighten the turn and make it that he can kind of square to the bar a little bit more. And then here, good, blind cross. Yes, really good. Okay, so we can see clearly your position here. Shift over so that you're here. Since then he can see the wing. Sorry, there's dog antics happening in the background. All right, but yes, just a small shift of position so that the wing is very clearly in view for Hector. And yeah, also remember toes and chest laser should point to the end of the wing. So you're going to be positioned on an angle so that way you can draw basically a straight line from your toes pointing to the end of the wing. And that makes it much easier to get that hand over the bar. Also makes it easier to move out of the reverse wrap, because they're generally using reverse wrap to make like a 270 like that, or a 360 going that way. And if your feet are pointing forward here, you have to turn them. Whereas if you are on that angle, then you don't have to do quite as much of that, or maybe none at all. So it makes getting out of there even easier. And when you are leaving reverse wrap, if your toes and chest laser point to the end of the wing, then your first step to leave is with the leg that's closest to the bar. Good. Nice turn from him there. Yes, and then, yeah, good. This backside blind. Really good job continuing the motion through that whole thing. And you already said it when you talked about the position in your post, that you can be moving towards the middle of the bar. Okay, so if he sees you driving forward when he goes in the tunnel, he should drive forward going out. He's committed to that jump. Then you can move this way towards the blue, really. So maybe you don't need to put a net so much as just keep one eye on, like out of the corner of your eye, this blue in the middle of the bar, and go that way. Okay, and the turning of the head happens when the dog is committed to the backside, which is probably now. Minimum now. Okay, but by the time he's actually getting here and lifting, you're still looking at him. That blind cross should be done. So that's the other thing that will make it easier. So it tells him to come in. Okay, so yeah, he's committed to that one. You can already be on your way to the mid-bar point, mid-bar position for backside blind. Yeah, and just a little sooner head turning. And you can try more lateral distance from the, when you start the exercise, more lateral distance from the tunnel, and let's see if that forward motion still doesn't drive him out to that jump where maybe you don't need to even be as close as you were. You already have some nice distance going on. Okay, but his leg coming out of the tunnel takes him here, so you can go there. But you can definitely try, instead of running from here, take this line. And let's see if that still doesn't drive him out. You still have to run quite fast and make sure you have connection coming out of the tunnel. So like faster you go, the further away they will work from you, but you can experiment with a little bit more distance if maybe that makes it easier to make it like approximately to that mid-bar point to handle the backside blind. Or as soon as you see commitment to this one, so once he's committed, and if he's going to hold his commitment, then you can go there, and then he will know, go here. Okay, so like use this blue as a landmark. Okay. Cool, good work. All right, so a couple of small adjustments with basically kind of the angle of your body and the position in your reverse wrap so that you're next to the end of the bar that he can see the wing. And let's experiment a little bit with how much you put your hand over the bar and to see if that helps him kind of square up consistently so that when he's jumping, that he's always jumping this way and not that way. Okay. 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 And then for this one, maybe a little bit more lateral distance, or when you see the commitment to that's when you can move to that mid bar and kind of just in your peripheral vision, look for the blue. And then when you see he's committed to that backside, turn your head. Okay. And then that should make those backside lines feel a lot easier. Okay. Good work. If you have questions, let me know. Otherwise, I will see you in your next video.